Welcome back everybody, Stan from Valhalla Games. Long time no see from me, I know that for sure. So firstly I'd like to apologise, and I'd like to thank you all, our patient long-time viewers, subscribers and patrons. Thank you very much. The reason for my absence is I've had quite a bit of difficulty actually seeing recently, and I was getting big headaches and stuff like that, and it turned out that after sort of taking the mickey out of Rex for his glasses issues with magnifying glasses and painting, that I now have to wear glasses as well painting. So that serves me right, doesn't it? But yeah, it's I've done quite a bit of stuff, but yeah, my biggest challenge is probably getting it all together, finishing several things off, and presenting it for you in a way that you'd like to see for a video. So welcome back and thanks for your patience. So first thing I'd like to show you today is I'd like to show you this 12-man Soviet squad. So as you can see, it's got all the bells and whistles on it. So suitable for playing as a squad that's got all the upgrades perhaps for the free squad. It's got some Molotovs in there to be purposed as anti-tank grenades. I really enjoyed doing these. Truth be told, this is only the second Soviet squad that I've ever painted completely. The first was an SMG squad, so it was nice not having any SMGs in this one, and just getting it all painted up, getting the rifles done. It was really nice. I enjoyed painting the Molotovs as well. A little bit of, I guess, extra colour to the palette. But, if I zoom in, just some basic kit bashes, conversions. That guy in the middle there, holding the Molotov in his left hand. Just a bit of a kit bash there because you can't get any left-handed Molotovs in the kit, so just a really simple one. Putting the flame on, just to sort of show the motion. The flag bearer there has got a flag from Flags of War. I'll just zoom out so we can see that clearly. So yeah, he's got a nice flag from Flags of War. And yeah, I enjoyed the little kit bashing. The guy here at the front, running along with the Molotov, I've turned his flame just to sort of look as if the wind or the air is pushing it backwards because he's on the move. Just get that sense of movement to the model. And yeah, just coupled by a couple of guys sort of kneeling, yeah, covering their mates as they're moving forward. But yeah, I really enjoyed painting these because I made sure I threw in a few different colours into the palette. Had a lot of fun. The bases I've made brown with the I guess sort of the patchy sort of snow melt effect on them, and I'd like to think they blend in quite nicely there into the snow sort of matte I've got down for this photo shoot. And yeah, that's my intent basically for any winter Soviets, is to go with that. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed looking at these guys. What I'll do is I'll just zoom out and then give you a bit of a group shot. And there we go. That's them. Finished 12-man Soviet squad. That's the first squad down. Join me back in a minute and I'll set up some more of the stuff I've painted and I'll give you a run through. And a quick change later, and here I am back again with the next thing to show you. So what I got here is a bunch of Panzerlehr. So I've got a mixture here of Warlord Games, their metal box set. I've got some plastic War Games Atlantic. And I've got a couple other models that have got the late pattern tunic. So yeah, I've put them all together and I'm really happy how they've turned out. I've actually got a model in here as well from Offensive Miniatures, which I'll show you in a minute too. But here we can see sort of starring there at the front, we've got the War Games ones. If I just come back a bit, and there we go. And if I just pan through, you'll be able to see some more details in there, guys. In the center there, you can see the Warlord Games machine gun team. Love that guy sculpt. Love the guy with the MG42 getting out the stick grenade while his loader's getting ready to load his belt. Coming across here, and what you can see in here now, just coming into the center of the screen, is we have got the model that I mentioned from Offensive Miniatures. So I think this is Joseph Porter from Offensive Miniatures. It's part of the Sven Hassel range, but again, because he's got that late tunic, and I just had the single model that Offensive very kindly sent me at some stage as a bit of a sample. I thought, well, why not? Why not bring him to life and get him in this army? So I remember when the War Games Atlantic box set was released. I painted up a squad then of samples to show, and a few other models as well. And now I've gone back and finished them. I've still got I bought another squad from Artisan Designs, and they're beautiful sculpts as well. And I've found 3 or 4 more of the plastics from War Games Atlantic, so they're on my painting table ready to go. But yeah, I have I really enjoyed painting these guys up. It's nice to have the War Games Atlantic ones because you can have a good old kit bash. I'll zoom in here on this guy here. Really like that guy there. He's changing his magazine in the center of the screen. There's that machine gunner we were talking about. And there, I just zoom in a bit better on him. There you go. I'll just come back out again. Go back through. Lovely models to paint. Warlord Games, fantastic customer service, guys. Thank you very much. What happened was I received a box, and 3 of my models that I received, the miniatures in there, had broken barrels off their weapons. I sent away pictures and stuff like that and said, hey, look, this is the issue here. And they sent me the replacement models. I have actually painted up the original ones. They are precariously glued on there. I don't know how long they're going to last, but I mean, fantastic customer service from them to sort that out, because of course, you know, you're paying for a whole set, and they've obviously acknowledged us. You sort of expect them to have some longevity, and if they've got a broken barrel like that, there's no guarantee they're just going to last at all to the rigors of playing. I haven't actually played a game with my Panzerlehr yet, so I'm looking forward to doing so. But yeah, thanks guys, thanks for that. Yeah, I'll look forward to getting some more of them painted up and on the table too. But at the moment, I'm really happy with these. So I'll just do a quick change here, and I'll get the next guys on the table for you to see. So this next one's just a quick one. So I have got some crews for open top vehicles there for the Germans. So Lorraine Schlepper, I do believe, and then the Marder. Yeah, so they turned out really nice. Beautiful sculpting on those plastic sculpts for the Marder. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing off the vehicles and shoving those guys inside. Yeah, and seeing how they turn out. I really enjoy open top vehicles actually, for the sculpting and the sort of equipment stowage possibilities you get out of them. They're really quite satisfying. Alright, now I'm going to take these guys away and set up the next lot. See you soon. Alright, and here we go again. Just so you know, I haven't been idle. What would you know? I've painted some British airborne. I love painting these guys here from Offensive Miniatures. So I spoke about these on a podcast, called Podcast Back. This is the Bren support pack. And it's absolutely brilliant poses. I love posing these guys together on that 40mm base. It just made visual sense to me. I'm just going to go back here. And I also really enjoyed that chaplain. Yep, so he is from Westland, actually. He's in their Weird War section. So I couldn't quite tell you what that Weird War section's name is, but check it out. It's really nice. I think he might be in the Weird War section with like loose heads and parts like that, I think. But yep, if you like him, check him out. Little known fact that Padres, or people from the chaplains department, going to try and join the Parachute Regiment Airborne Forces even today, are required to carry a cross on the P Company selection events. The cross weighs the same as a rifle because the Padres will not carry the rifle on the P Company. So there we go. So they're not given an advantage and they still have to prove themselves. They have to carry that cross, which was donated by a member of the chaplains department to the P Company staff. So here we go, big mix. So a lot of offensive stuff in there. Some of the other things I've spoken about already. That is a Warlord machine gun, wrong, an Artisan Designs machine gun team at the back there with casualties. And those guys actually were painted already. And I'm going to throw myself at your mercy by confessing that to you. And all I've done is paint them wrong, is base them up together. And we'll just pan through here so you can check guys out. Some fantastic sculpts. I really enjoyed painting, even though it was a big batch, I really enjoyed painting them because there was such nice sculpts in there. I acquired another Warlord Games HQ. Nothing wrong with those sculpts either. I confess I've painted a few of them now. But yeah, it's nice to get it done. Painted up a 6-pounder as well from Warlord. And light mortar as well. Yeah, and a few Bakshi Warlord Games plastics in there too. And if I just go uphill here. There we go. I'm going to zoom in on these guys, and this is, again, I mentioned this a couple of podcasts ago, that is the Offensive Miniatures sniper team behind the low wall as well that I just fell in love with. Beautiful, beautiful miniature. Yeah, I can't recommend Offensive highly enough. I can't recommend every manufacturer's work that I've worked on in this last time highly enough. It's all been absolutely beautiful and a pleasure to paint. Bad eyesight or no bad eyesight. So there we go. So I haven't been idle. I've got a few more airborne as well I'm going to throw on the table, and I'll show you these guys, some crews and so on and so forth. So I'll be back with you in a minute to show you them. So here we go. Here's the crews that I painted up as well. This is 6-pounder crew from First Corps. Nice to have some alternate sculpts. I've got some 3D printed 6-pounders that Rex has kindly printed off for me. So yeah, picked up these guys to crew one of those. As well as that, I also picked up the same time from First Corps this crew here doing some minesweeping. Again, because it's a long journey here to New Zealand, I sort of expect some casualties. So the I guess the wooden furniture above his hand, his left hand, broke off, snapped off completely. So I just glued on another one there. Unlike the Warlord Games situation, again, no fault of Warlord Games. It's a long old way from the UK to here to New Zealand, and a lot of packaging takes a bit of a hit. But I couldn't repair those ones, well, not with any sort of longevity, but this one here is a pretty clean break at a thicker point, so I've just done that one myself. But again, chunkier miniatures, chunkier sculpts. What I did do with these guys is I have sculpted the tails on their smocks. On the parasmocks. So I just wanted them done. I didn't want them all to be done up, because I felt that the jobs they were doing, they probably wouldn't have them done up as commonly. Of course, each man had his own preference. And here we go, the headless 17-pounder crew. Why the headless, Dan? And why have they not been based? And how are you possibly calling them finished? Well, I guess St. Michael, patron saints of paratroopers and painting. Well, maybe painting, but definitely paratroopers. I guess he will judge me. He will judge me because, yeah, obviously I haven't done the basing. I haven't done the heads. And the reason for that is, basically I want them to be in a scenic base around the 17-pounder. So I want to do the heads last and have them pointing in a direction exactly the way I want it. And I want a 17-pounder oval base from Warlord Games, which I've ordered one that I'll collect when I go over to England. It's being delivered to my mate's house over there in England. Thank you very much. So yeah, so when I get that back here, I will, first thing I'm going to do is trace around it so that I can have a bit of a pattern for cutting them out of MDF myself. And then second thing I'm going to do is mount these guys the 17-pounder up. And I haven't put the 17-pounder together yet. I quite like doing the metal artillery sort of in the base, because if you can put the ground material around it, it sort of holds it a bit sturdier while you're building it up. But yeah, that's one of the ways to get around the challenge. But yeah, that explains why these guys got no heads at the moment, I guess. So anyway, that's the progress on the British Airborne. So I've added something like another 45 British Airborne to my my army, and yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. And what I'll do now is I'll get rid of these guys, and yes, I have got some more people to show you. We'll be back in a minute. Alright, next thing to come off the painting table is some reinforcements for the Waffen-SS. As we said in the start of the year, Rex has started painting his Waffen-SS, and I told him that as a bit of a sympathy pregnancy for all his dots that he was going to have to paint, I would join in the fun. That was me doing air quotes in the background over the fun of yeah, P-dot pattern. So there we go. You can see some of them painted up there now. This guy here, for those who know the plastic kits by Warlord, the MG42 guy there. So he's got Grenadiers rolled up sleeves on the smock, just to make it look like Waffen-SS kits. So I've just got out a bit of green stuff and sculpted some foliage loops on his sleeve there. So he matched in. I've done that on a few helmets and stuff too, as well as clothing for various guys in this force. So apart from the Warlord's plastics, I've also got some offensive miniatures metal pioneers in here, and there you can see their flamethrower, and this fantastic pair here are the wire cutting guys. I'll zoom in a little bit in there. This guy covering while another guy is cutting some wire. With the Pioneer's backpack on as well. It's all nice and correct. Let's scroll through here. I actually love the flexibility in the plastic Waffen-SS kits. I think they're fantastic. They're They've got a good amount of like extended arms and open hands, closed hands and stuff like that, so you can actually build up a lot of poses yourself, just with a bit of kit bashing. They've got nice dynamic poses as well in there too. These guys here I I kit bashed again from that set. I just wanted to have a couple of guys coming in quite close to each other and providing that sort of pose that we see so often in the photographs. I think, as I said, I haven't built these guys and painted them in any particular orbit, so you're not seeing whole squads here necessarily, hence the fact there's a few machine gunners. I've just assembled sort of what is left on the sprues, got them together. But as always, yeah, all the games, fantastic plastics. Yeah, this Waffen-SS kit is a particular favourite of mine, thoroughly recommended. And yeah, those Warlord, the offensive miniatures, metals as well, absolutely brilliant. And those of you who remember, my favourite miniature from last year was a guy throwing a satchel charge from offensive miniatures out of that Waffen-SS Pioneer pack. Absolutely brilliant sculpt. Well, there we go. There's some more SS to join the rest of their battalion. And Rex, I'm looking forward to seeing yours now. I'm keeping you honest, mate. Let's see what else I've done, because I can tell you there is something else that's been keeping me occupied. And here you go, guys. Here's the last thing I've been painting since the last update. So, I'm not going to take credit for painting this army. In fact, I bought it. I bought it painted, and it was based in a very unusual way. It was based, multi-based, all the infantry squads, on square bases in a manner that looked as if it was being played 28mm like Flames of War. So there was half a section on each base. Yeah, it was quite unique actually. But the seller said it had been painted by him to a very good standard, and he wasn't wrong. What I found is that when I got them off the bases, I was really quite happy, except for he'd done really quite significant highlights. So if I zoom in here, so what you can see now is what I'd like to think is a nice pop on the table with the highlights. However, it was significantly brighter than that. They looked a little bit like Japanese, because the sort of the British uniform colour had been probably over highlighted, and I believe it was with khaki grey, which is a highlight that I use as well, but just been really, really highlighted to a really sort of eye-popping amount. So what I had to do with this army was I had to first of all rebase it, take off the multi-basings, and the weapons teams I'll show you in a minute. They were on square base as well, or rectangular bases. So I took them all off, then rebased them on single bases for chain of command or bolt action or something like that. And then what I did is I based them, and probably I was sort of hedging my bets between an arid sort of scheme and something sort of nice and grassy, maybe Western European, like Normandy or something like that. So I've sort of hedged my bets there, and I'm quite happy with how it came out actually. Hope you think I've done a fair job. Considering this is quite a bright base board that we're looking at here now, I'd like to think it's fitting in there quite well. And what I did then is I spent a significant amount of time actually going through and I guess toning down the highlights, knocking them back. Got a lot of English uniform in there, and really toned it back, and I'm quite happy with the results. I have not gone and done eyes on them all. I've done significant repaints of all the weapons. The wooden furniture was not picked out correctly, and they were painted sort of with the metal barrel sort of extending all the way back to sort of the receiver group, and the bolt back there, as quite a few people sort of do when they're sort of starting out, or that, you know, they've not got reference material to hand or something like that aren't familiar with the weapons. But yeah, overall, I think you know, credit's due to the guy. He's done a good job. As I say, I haven't painted eyes stuff and that in yet. Maybe I'll go back and do that in the future. But I certainly sunk a lot of time into it, and that's where it's gone. But I thought it was worth it because for the price I got them, which was a very good price, you know, I was really happy. Now, these guys are nearly all Black Tree miniatures. There is only a very few Warlord games in there, and I don't know if there's any other brands that someone out there with the eagle eyes might spot. I'm not overly keen on some of the sculpts. For instance, the Black Tree Designs Vickers machine guns leave a little bit to be desired, but overall I'm generally quite happy. Got a couple of light mortar teams in there as well. A couple of mortar teams we're going to scroll on to in a second. We've got a Warlord Games medium mortar in there as well, and one thing I will be doing is just touching up the scrim there with a bit of the sort of the sandbag Hessian colours and stuff like that in there. The mortars are pretty good. It's just the tripod and the actual Vickers itself on the Black Tree ones I'm not overly in love with. But there we go. So that's another thing I've been doing, taking up my time. I like to think that you think that's worthy use of my time. I thought it was a really good army to pick up. The state it was in, I was like, man, I'm not going to find an army in that good a state to sort of pick up and carry on going with in a hurry, and at that price too. So I was really happy. But yeah, so there we go. I pan back into the middle here, and then give you one last look at these guys. So yeah, I hope you didn't mind me including those guys cheekily, considering all the work I've done on them and what I've been painting, because it certainly took up time on my workbench anyway. But there we go, guys. That's what I've been doing. That's my update. So thank you again to all of you for being so patient. Yeah, we didn't drop off the edge of the earth. Nothing went wrong apart from yeah, just that health thing really with me. For my glasses, and in particular what it meant for me was with the dark days here, because it's sort of been the middle of winter in New Zealand, I was finding it difficult on the limited time I had, and with my headaches and stuff like that, to get around to filming stuff. But I'm sure you can see now that I've spent a lot of time in around my duties, and my duties at home as well. I'm getting some painting done, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed visiting me here today, and in my in Valhalla, and I look forward to catching up with you with some progress soon.